Scott, the White House officials here tell me that they are certainly aware of the stock market sell-off. They don't expect to have any official comment on it other than what we've been seeing on the president's Twitter feed. Officials here very focused on the president's response to the shootings that we saw over the weekend. That has consumed much of the morning here at the White House. The president, meanwhile, is tweeting his thoughts on China. You've seen some of those comments, but the president suggesting over Twitter that, in fact, Americans are not paying for the tariffs. They're being paid for compliments of China. The president saying that the U.S. is taking in tens of billions of dollars, and China has always used currency manipulation to steal our businesses and factories, hurt our jobs, depress our workers' wages, and harm our farmers' prices. Not anymore. So the president is simply wrong about that, Scott. The tariffs are being paid by companies inside the United States that are importing materials from China. Over time, that could certainly, as you guys know, hurt the Chinese economy. But the fact of the matter is that when the checks are being written to the United States Treasury, they're coming from importers inside the United States who are importing that material from China. So the president, his staff knows that. Mick Mulvaney, the acting chief of staff, told me that on stage in an event a couple of months ago, that they're aware that the people paying the tariffs are, in fact, American importers. But the president here is using that language.
He knows they're not paying it also, Eamon. I mean, I don't know what we need to do. You need to fly a plane above the White House with one of the banners that said China's not paying and just keep.
He knows his audience doesn't know that.
I had a detailed exchange with about this exact issue with Mick Mulvaney, the acting chief of staff. And he says the president's making a broader argument here, which is that the damage to the Chinese economy is worse to them than it is to us. So therefore, net, they're paying. That's the broad argument that you get. But the president's just flatly wrong when he tweets that the Americans are not paying the tariffs.
Yeah, but I mean, the other thing, look, is the president seems intent at this point. He voiced his concern or displeasure, is a better word, after Jay Powell and company cut rates last week. He didn't think that the Fed went deep enough, and he seems absolutely intent, one way or another, of getting the rate cuts that he wants. And if that means this situation that we're in, so be it. How would you respond to that?
I asked the president several times last week, what rate cut do you want to see from the Fed? He had said that the quarter point wasn't enough, but he hasn't specifically said what he wants, what his number is. I asked him several times last week, face-to-face, that question. He just simply didn't answer it. He hasn't put out there a target number that he'd like to see, and that gives him, and not putting that number out there gives him the political flexibility to continue to say that the Fed is not doing enough, really no matter what the Fed does here moving forward, right? So going into his re-election, if the economy softens between now and 2020, the president is going to likely want a foil, a political foil that he can blame for any softness in the economy. And the Fed looks like it's foil number one for now.